Does Leigh Whannell's take on the Wolfman breathe new life into the character, or does it make you wishing for a silver bullet? Spoiler alert, if you have not seen the movie, make sure you bookmark this video and come back to it. Otherwise, you've been forewarned. So, before we begin, let's talk about the history of the Wolfman because it's very interesting. So, let's go all the way back to really where the origin of the character kind of comes from. Werewolves and wolfmen have had a long-standing place in human culture. The earliest known references dates all the way back to around 2100 BC in the Mesopotamian epic of Gilgamesh, where a woman transforms a former lover into a wolf. In Greek mythology, the tale of King Lycaon tells of Zeus punishing him by turning him into a wolf. More specifically about the transformation, in folklore and popular culture, a bite or scratch from a werewolf is often said to pass the lycanthropy, causing the victim to transform into a wolf-like creature, usually under the full moon, which is more or less what we expect. Now let's talk about how that has come into Hollywood. So, over the decades, the werewolf legend has been adapted into countless films, some of the most notable including the Howling franchise, Stephen King's Silver Bullet, Teen Wolf, An American Wolf in London, as well as more modern tales like Wolf, The Wolfman, Van Helsing, the Underworld series, obviously, and Ginger Snaps. However, the film that was truly starting it all was Universal's 1941 classic, The Wolfman. If you're not familiar with that classic, here's just a brief synopsis of that movie. After his brother's death, Larry Talbot returns to the Wales to reconcile with his father. While there, he visits an antique shop and, hoping to impress the shopkeeper Gwyn, he purchases a silver walking cane. That same night, he kills what he believes is a wolf with the cane, only to discover he was actually slain a man. A gypsy then reveals that the victim was her son, a werewolf, and that Larry is now cursed to become one himself. As far as the Universal's MonsterVerse reboot, obviously Wolfman is a reboot of that 1941 classic and follows 2020's The Invisible Man as part of Universal's more modern MonsterVerse. While there have been other recent attempts to revive the monster universe, Leigh Whannell's reboots are reportedly set within the same continuity, which will be interesting if they can actually make more of these and somehow make a movie where they're all involved. Like Dracula, Frankenstein, other ones like that. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, those kind of things. So, one thing I wanted to point out is, after watching this movie, I kind of felt like this movie was a good message about fatherhood. The film carries an undertone about fatherhood and the struggle to be a better parent than the ones you had. As a parent, I could see several real-life experiences reflected in the story. It's ironic that Blake resists becoming like his father, yet ultimately mirrors him by becoming the Wolfman. Having had my own complicated relationship with my dad, this theme resonated deeply with me. There were some unanswered questions, I felt like, with this movie. We don't really know who infected Blake's dad. If they mentioned it, I missed it, but I don't think they did explicitly. The guy they met, was he hunting Blake's dad? Like, was it a werewolf hunter that became a werewolf? Blake's dad seemed to recognize him like Blake did his wife and daughter, so could they have lived in harmony somehow? Like, even though he was a werewolf, could they have still been together and not have to be separated or be murdered because of worry of him killing his family? They didn't make some of those things clear. All right, let's break down what I liked and disliked about the movie. So, I really liked the Wolfman's appearance in the film, as well as the progression from the initial signs of infection to the final transformation. Someone else compared it to Jeff Goldblum's The Fly, and I could definitely see the resemblance in this movie. I really enjoyed the wolf vision special effects. This is where, as Blake is becoming the werewolf, he has like this kind of almost outer body experience where his vision and his hearing is altered or handicapped or impaired in some way, so that when he's talking to Charlotte, his wife, he can't really understand him or her, his daughter. So I really liked that how it started and was getting worse and worse until he became the werewolf, and it kind of sounded like gibberish and stuff. So I liked all that kind of stuff. It was, to me, original. All right, now what I disliked. Charlotte. I like Julia Garner, but her overall journey just felt kind of underwhelming. While it's clear that she and Blake have a strained marriage and that she struggles with insecurities as a mother, the way her arc unfolded didn't feel as fulfilling. I would have preferred if she had already been on a stronger, more supportive path early on, so that when Blake's transformation began, the impact and emotional weight on her character would have been even greater, and I just didn't kind of get that from her. One of the things I really did not like about the movie is I wanted more of the lore. Where is it? The film teases a deeper lore about wolfmen and werewolves, dropping clues along the way but never fully explores it. Why? At an hour and 43 minutes, it had room, especially in the beginning, to flesh out the mythology, and I think it really should have. I think that would have benefited the movie more. I think that's what horror movie fans want to see more of. All right, here's my little snippet if I had made the movie, because I like to do that kind of my reviews. Overall, I think the movie worked out okay. The changes I would make would have been included expanding on the Wolfman lore, obviously, early on, making Blake and Charlotte's marriage and family dynamic more believable and relatable, and giving the ending a less definitive conclusion. Perhaps thinking that Blake could survive thanks to his new abilities, or teasing that the presence of other Wolfmen being out there, so we could have a sequel. So here are my final thoughts and rating for Wolfman. While Leigh Whannell's reboot of The Invisible Man offered a fresh and creative take on that character, his version of the Wolfman largely sticks to the classic formula, adding only a hint of modern flair, leaving much to be desired. But I give Wolfman's 3 out of 5 Wolfman. If you have seen Wolfman, let me know what you think in the comments about the movie. Do you agree with some of the points that I made? If you like this video, make sure you like it. Please subscribe to the channel. I am challenging myself to do 31 days of Halloween, where I post a horror movie for every 31 days of October. So hopefully I can commit to that challenge and get one out, and then hopefully give my, retrospective take on all the movies I've seen and give my worst and best. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time on the Mashup.